swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Good afternoon, Ms. Thomas.
Hello, Anastasia Thomas on behalf of the applicant, individual applicant being Spike Jurdy, David S. Jurdy, I'm sorry, goes by Spike, and Artifact LLC for 1500 Union Avenue. As a preliminary matter, I wanted to let the board know that this will be the second Class B license in the name of the individual applicant.
Right.
And we are looking to have the first license that's already been issued satisfy the heightened requirements for the second Class B license. And then this license that we are asking the board to approve would satisfy the initial minimal requirements, which would be a minimum capital investment of $200,000 and 75 seats.
Let me just make sure I understand what you mean. There's already a location that Mr. Jurdy is a licensee at, right?
That's correct.
All right. So you want us to apply the money that he spent on that restaurant to this restaurant at a different location?
I'm sorry, no.
That's okay.
The other restaurant satisfies the heightened requirements, and this restaurant, Artifact, would satisfy the requirements for the first Class B license. So the other license has well over $500,000 invested
Right.
in it, and it has over 125 seats. Artifact LLC has 75 seats and over $200,000 invested in it.
All right. Are they next door to each other?
They aren't. They're down the road, and within walking distance.
All right. We'll hear from you. And I don't. Obviously,
Okay.
the board will have to discuss that, but we'll hear from
Absolutely.
you. We'll let you put on your case so that
Thank you.
we can take care of that part of it, and then we'll have to make our decision on that. And I'm not sure that
All right.
that's something we can do in 5 or 10 minutes. We may need to review
Which
the
is
record.
understandable.
Sure.
I did have a discussion with Jane Schroeder about
Okay, and
this.
that, thank you, yeah, but we may need
Okay.
a little while just to
Absolutely, I
digest
understand
what
that.
you are telling us. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to distribute a packet with
Thank you.
exhibits that we're going to present.
All right.
And to begin, I'm going to,
Extra one.
okay,
Happy to.
I'll take
Thank
that.
you. I'm going to mark this as your first exhibit. Oh, actually, we're
Well-
going to mark this as your second, if that's okay, or if you already have something
Okay.
pre-marked.
Absolutely.
I was going to go ahead and put the Medfield Community Association letter in as the first.
That is already in there. So
Oh, it
this-
is?
This
Okay.
packet that I gave you has numbers 1 through 13.
Wonderful.
And so each individual tab would represent a different exhibit.
We'll call this applicants A 1 through 13, okay?
Thanks.
All right. Go ahead and tell us what's in this packet.
All right, so tab number 1 is an affidavit signed by the individual applicant, Mr. Jurdy, with regard to satisfying the requirements for a minimum capital investment of $200,000 and 75 seats within the restaurant, not including the outdoor seating and the bar seats.
All right.
Tab number 2 is a letter from Artifact CPA stating that Artifact has in fact made a capital investment of $256,702. Exhibit number 3 is actually a proposal from the construction company that did build out for the restaurant. And it's just showing that, again, the construction was over $200,000 proposal.
All right.
Exhibit number 4 is a floor plan showing exactly 75 seats within the restaurant. And I'm going to stop right there because those are the exhibits that show the minimum requirements for the restaurant, for
Right.
the seating capacity and the minimum capital investment. Now, the next exhibit is one of the first exhibits that goes to community support. It's a petition signed by Baltimore City residents, and as you can see in the heading at the top of the petition, the residents have agreed that there's a strong public need and desire for the applicant to be granted the liquor license along with outdoor seating.
It's a good petition. I mean, we can read people's addresses clearly. It's a good petition. Thank you.
You're welcome. The next exhibit, Exhibit 6, is an MOU between Artifact and Hamden Community Council, and Exhibit 6 at the very end also has a copy of a letter of support issued by HCC or Hamden Community Council, which we just got today, so I
Right.
stuck it in there behind the MOU.
Thank you.
Exhibit number 7 is a letter of support from Medfield Community Association.
All right.
And exhibit number 8 is a letter of support from Concerned Citizens Woodbury Association. So all of those exhibits, numbers 5 through 8, are evidencing the fact that there is a strong public desire and need for the liquor license to be granted. Now, the rest of the exhibits, or not the rest of the exhibits, but exhibits 9 through 12, which I'm going to go through right now, all have to do with the existing restaurant that,
Right.
the other restaurant that already has a liquor license issued. Exhibit number 9 is an affidavit also signed by Mr. Jurdy, which states that the other restaurant, which is owned by Watershed LLC, also known as Woodbury Kitchen, has minimum capital investment which exceeds $500,000 and over 125 seats within the restaurant, not including outdoor seating in the bars. Exhibit number 10 is a letter from the CPA stating that Watershed LLC has invested a total of $870,236 total into the restaurant.
But not at the 1500 Union Avenue address.
No, this is at the,
2010 Cooper Brook.
exactly. This is all,
I guess I'm really confused as to the original request. I know you put into evidence a lot of good documentation. You're asking to switch the licenses physically from one location to another, or you're asking for this board to
Absolutely.
grant at a lower requirement a new license at the 1500 Union Avenue address?
well, it's not quite clear in the statute that that you have to call the first license, and the second license. It just says that if you're gonna have two, one of them
Additional
has
heightened-
to satisfy the additional heightened requirements, and that's why we're asking that the Woodbury Kitchen license
Right, but in
be
and
that
of itself,
license.
isn't additional inherently added onto, meaning second, not primary, additional?
You know, I did not bring the wording of the statute, but it did seem that it left room so that there could be two licenses, and one of the it didn't specify which license
Had
had
the
to satisfy.
required.
Exactly.
minimum.
The way that I read the statute.
Well, what you're arguing, or what you're saying to us, is that he's spent over $700,000 investing in two properties.
Well, he's spent,
Well in excess
Well in
of over
excess of that, yeah.
$700,000. And
yeah.
he would only be required to spend $700,000 to get two licenses. Am I right? Is that what
Well,
your argument is, so to
absolute-
speak?
And I'm arguing that he's required to spend over $200,000 on one license and over $500,000 on the other, which he has also done. So, yeah, so to speak, that is
All right.
exactly. Just to continue going through these exhibits, exhibit number 11 is the Woodbury Kitchen construction budget, which shows that the construction budget well exceeded $500,000. Exhibit number 12 is the Woodbury Kitchen floor plan, showing that there's a minimum of 125 seats. And exhibit number 13 goes back to Artifact, and it's just a menu, showing the uniqueness of the items offered. If you have any questions with regard to the concept behind Artifact LLC, we've got a lot of people here who could provide you with a little more information.
All right, wonderful. We can hear from them at this time, briefly. I mean, you've
Okay.
obviously submitted a pretty comprehensive exhibit there, but we'll hear from your applicants at this point, investors.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and just talk about the concept.
For Artifact?
Yes.
Well, Artifact Coffee is a coffee shop and full-service restaurant that offers service to the Woodbury community and the surrounding communities 7 days a week. We've recently added a dinner service, which we're doing at this point 5 days a week. We're in the Union Mill complex, which includes, it's a mixed-use complex including residential apartments and office space. And as we do it, we're very, very proud to be serving locally sourced ingredients. We
Is
feel
this going to be a low-end version of that at all, or?
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah.
It definitely,
You know
it's
how Voltaggio Brothers did their,
very much in that, yeah. You know,
Other concept.
we love Woodbury and very proud of what we've done there. We wanted to bring that approach to sourcing, that same philosophy, if you will, to a coffee shop experience. So we do great breakfast kind of, you know, our menu includes breakfast items, lunch items that you would expect, but probably with a more creative kind of approach, including soup, salads, and sandwiches. And now our dinner service very much in that mode as well.
all right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, anything else, Ms. Thomas?
That's all.
All right, great. Is there anyone here opposed to the project? Okay, just always have to ask. Give the board a minute, and we'll go off the record, and we'll come back and let you know what we're going to do for today. All right, we're off the record. We're going to go back on the record. Can we keep it down over there? We're going to go back on the record. Thank you. All right. We want to hear from Mr. Peters from Hamden Community Council, as they have entered into an MOU with the applicant. Mr. Peters, good afternoon.
Good
Have you been sworn?
I was
And this
sworn
one?
previously, not, yeah, no, I was sworn
Sure.
this one, yes.
Great. It's
Was.
good for a day, anyway. All right, go ahead. Tell us about the MOU between you and Mr.
Well,
Jordan.
we met with the applicant and the owner of the property and discussed the idea that they want to expand the business to include dinner service, have the ability to cater on-site events in conjunction with the facility. And, you know, the Hamden Community Council generally doesn't have any problem with that kind of thing. When you're going to do a restaurant, it's an asset to the community, you know, we're happy to support that. But we did see the need to put some restrictions, some of which are the ones we always put on any liquor license. Some were some specific ones that we were not sure would be covered by the liquor license. So we, you know, got to have an MOU that we worked on. And those are, they're mainly aimed at making sure that down the road, we know Evan, we know Spike, we know their product, we know what they do, where we have confidence in them, that they're gonna have a good product that's gonna fit with the neighborhood that people are gonna like, if you grant them a license. But we also know that, you know, buildings are sold, businesses are sold, and although they are looking to have a extra experience, if you will, for the facility where someone can have a nonprofit fundraiser in the beautiful courtyard they have, and Spike could cater that and provide alcohol, we wanted to ensure that it didn't become a rock venue. You know, which theoretically, if there's no agreement in place, you know, you could, you know, do whatever you want. You've got a liquor license, you can serve as many people. So we put limitations on the number of people that they are allowed to have at any given event, how many events that they hold cater on premises per year. Obviously, if there were special needs and they're, you know, the Ravens win the Super Bowl again and the Orioles go to the World Series and we get a soccer team that's a winner and they got to have extra parties, they can always apply, you know, for an extra day of service. We're not opposed to that. We just wanted to come up with a reasonable number that, you know, they were pretty sure that they weren't going to do more than 1 or 2 a month, that was sort of the business model they were looking to follow. So that's in the agreement.
Great, thank you very much, Mr. Peters.
Thank you.
Let me ask, before we go off the record again, Mr. Jurdy, you've had an opportunity to be represented by counsel in this matter by Ms. Thomas, right?
Yes.
She's answered all your questions.
Yes.
And you did voluntarily enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Hamden Community Council.
Yes.
All right, and you understand that you're basically asking the board to bind you and make you responsible for the responsibilities that you've agreed to in this document.
Yes.
Okay, and again, you understand that this is a board can't make you do this without you voluntarily agreeing to it.
Yes.
You're indicating that what I believe, am I right, Ms. Thomas, it's Exhibit 6?
That's
Part
correct.
6 of our
Yes.
applicant's Exhibit A.
Yes.
All right, so, yeah, we just want to make sure that you understand that you'd be bound by that. All right, is there anything else before we go off the record?
Well, one more thing is that I just wanted to let you know that I was informed when I spoke to Ms. Schroeder at the liquor board that there is precedent for what we're asking you all to do with regard to the 2 liquor licenses.
Right, and there may be. And let me say this in closing. First of all, we have an applicant who plays by the rules, he pays his license renewal, doesn't get in a lot of trouble. We don't see him here except when he's got a new project. We don't see him here for violations. We have somebody who signed an MOU with a very responsive community association. It looks like it's a substantive MOU. You obviously have good backers here. You have good, we're feeling very positive about this, and we just don't have the benefit of having had a case like this before. So the board's gonna go back to a little bit of research, check out Article 2B, and we'll get back to you in quick time. And that's why I wanted to put the MOU testimony with Mr. Jurdy, so that we can issue an opinion, and you all will not have to come back here to substantively testify. You may not have to come back here at all. We can issue our decision in writing, but we're gonna need a couple of days just to get that out to you, okay? All right?
Yep.
And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck, and we'll
Thank you.
we will not let this delay.
Thank you.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you.
Good to see you.
Off the record. Take care.
Thanks. Good to see you.
Amen.